What's up everybody, Jason from Jason's Exotic Reptiles. Today I want to talk to you guys about a new substrate that I just picked up, and it's called the Freedom Breeder CocoBlox. So in case you guys don't know, this channel is now sponsored by Freedom Breeder. I really appreciate that sponsorship. I reached out to Jesse over at Freedom Breeder and I said, Jesse, check out these old racks I have in the background. These are like the original Freedom Breeder racks. I've put a ton of use into them. I love them. I want to buy some new Freedom Breeder stuff. Would you guys be interested in doing some type of a partnership or sponsorship on my channel? They were very happy to do it, and I was very happy to go along with it. So I'm going to be getting some new racks coming, but in the process, Jesse told me about this new bedding they have, and it's called the Freedom Breeder CocoBlox. This stuff here. I was a little skeptical at first because I'm kind of set in my ways on what I like and what I've used in the past, but I told them, why don't I buy a couple blocks of the stuff? I think I bought 20 blocks. I said, send it over to me. Let me touch it, let me feel it, let me see what it's all about before I tell you guys that it's the good stuff and it's what you should be buying. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you how the whole block works. I'm going to expand it on camera, and I want you guys to make the decision on your own. Me personally, I'm really excited about it. I haven't seen a substrate like this that I like in a long time. It has the best of a lot of things. There's certainly some cons that I do want to get into, but I'm going to be 100% straightforward and honest. Whether they sponsor this channel or not, I want to make sure that you guys can believe and trust in the information I give you, and I told Jesse that before I pick up a whole bunch and tell you guys to purchase this stuff, let me try it. So if I do like this stuff and I'm going to be using it for a couple more weeks, I am going to be picking up a whole bunch of this, and I may have it available for sale. Otherwise, you can get it directly from freedombreeder.com. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to flip this camera around so you guys can see the whole process of me expanding the brick, and we'll see what it looks like. So let's do it. We're here, we have our CocoBlox substrate, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So I have a little bin like this, or a big bin like this. I have my hose. You can use this sink or something like that. But here's the substrate. It comes in this little bag, nice little handle, easy to carry. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my razor blade, and I'm just going to cut right along the top like this, almost make a little pocket, just so I can put some water. And the pretty cool stuff about this is it does expand without the water. But I do want to do it. I did it yesterday with the water, and I really liked what actually happened in the process. So I got that. I'm going to toss that aside. I'm going to pull out this front label. And what I want to show you here is, I can break it up without this water, just like this. So that's kind of impressive. That was one of my biggest things that I was concerned with, is this stuff going to break down easily, or is it going to be a pain? A lot of the times I've used this type of substrate, and it was incredibly painful, and it took a lot of time. By the time it expanded, I needed to dry it out, and that was really my biggest concern. So let me show you what happens once I put some water. This is just, regular hose water, just like that, and I'm going to spray it in, just so you can see. I'm going to do real time. This is no different than if I were to put it under the faucet, kind of see where it's going down here in the bag. Nothing special. And this was what really impressed me yesterday, is how quickly this expands and how nicely this ends up working. So, I don't know, we'll say that's good for now. I'll put a little bit more. I have no idea how much water I'm putting in here, but overall, this is what I did yesterday, and I was really impressed. So, alright, I'm done with the water just for now, just to see what it looks like. You can see it's already expanded pretty significantly in here. I'm going to put a little bit more just for the hell of it, just to see what happens. You can see it's already very expanded. Alright, we're good. Now I'm going to take my blade and I'm going to cut along the side. You can actually see, maybe if I can show you, there is water down here at the bottom. And I just wanted to show you that because sometimes maybe you add a little bit too much, too little, but I'm just going to cut just like that, expand it out, and then look how easily this stuff breaks apart. That's what I was impressed with, is time is very valuable to me. So if I have to spend a ton of time in here breaking apart my substrate, I'm just not going to use it. That's just what's going to happen. So you can even see there's still some dry chunks in here, but I want to show you those break apart so easily. And overall, I mean, there it is. It's essentially done and ready to use. I'm going to add a little bit more water just because I want all these dry chunks here. And where we're using boa constrictors, at least I'm using this for boa constrictors, I want it to be nice and humid. My hopes for this is that when I dry this stuff out, I can just spray it with water just like I did, and it's going to expand again. Now, the problem I had with cypress mulch when I did something like this is that once cypress mulch dries out, it never gets back to where it should be again. I'm hoping that where this is the cocoa husk, and this is that CocoBlox substrate, that these wood chips will act almost like sponges and expand that water again. But you can see from this, I mean, it's perfectly broken up. I did this all right live on real time on camera, and there's no water in the bottom here. It's just that was impressive to me. Just that part alone makes me want to use more of it. It's got very, very little dust. It does have some of these stringy things in here, but any type of cocoa husk is going to have that. They do make a shaker table, and I did ask Jesse, I asked him to send me the shaker table. Worst case, I'll use it as a workbench if I don't like it. But I do think after expanding this substrate like this, I am going to like it quite a bit. So, I mean, let's kind of mix around a little bit more just so you can see. I'm trying to get to the bottom here so you can see that there's, you know, very little dust or residual that comes off of this. And that was my problem that I was having with aspen. So, I mean, there you go. You can see the bottom corner over there. There's very little. And this is a pretty good sized bin. I think this is a 20-gallon tote that I have here. I'm trying to look at the label. This is cleaning tote, 27-gallon tote. So it's a 27-gallon tote, and it's about halfway full. So let's say we got about 15 gallons of substrate. I tried this yesterday, and it really went a long way. It filled one of my 4-foot Freedom Breeder racks, a couple baby racks, one of my 2-foot by 3-foot Freedom Breeders, and one of my CB70 size. So that was another thing I wanted to see is am I going to be spending a ton of money on bedding, or is this stuff really going to go the distance? So far, it's held humidity really nicely in the past couple days I've used it, but let's flip this camera around. I want to talk to you a little bit more about the pros and cons of this stuff. Okay, so now you guys saw it get expanded. I don't know what you're thinking, but I know that I got very excited when I first saw that, and something about it, I gotta be honest, it's kind of fun and rewarding to do that. I don't want to make this sound like a sales video because it's kind of sounding like that, but I really do like this product. The problem I was having, and I did a substrate review video previously for you guys, the problem I was having is I was using aspen heavily, and with the higher humidity is I was getting a lot of mold in the substrate. And I'm thinking, all right, aspen's pretty cheap, not a big deal, but every time I'm cleaning the cages, I'm taking like half the substrate out, and I felt like it was getting a little bit wasteful. It just wasn't the right substrate. What I did like about the aspen bedding is that because when I go to the bathroom and aspen is like that blondish color, it was really easy to see, and I could scoop it out. It clumped together nicely, and that's what I'm going to do with this test of time over the next couple of weeks. By the time you guys see this video, that couple of weeks will have gone by, so I hope to have a better answer for you. So definitely leave some questions in the comments, as I'll be able to have a more educated answer by the time this video publishes. But that was my biggest concern with this stuff here. One was the overall expansion of it. Is it going to take me an hour for this stuff to expand, and am I going to have to dry it out overnight? I don't have the time for that. When I'm cleaning snakes, I'm doing it in between working and everything else I need to do. I need to make sure that I can take a substrate and it's ready. That's what I liked about the aspen or cypress mulch, is cut open the bag and I'm ready to use it. The other problem I was having with aspen, it was just super dusty. It was like, it just, every time I was using it, I was sneezing like crazy because all the little dust particles were there. This stuff, I don't have that problem yet. So again, by the time this video posts, I hope to be able to answer your comments and questions on it, and I might put a little description below with some of these things I'm talking about. So some of the things I like about it. One, storage capacity. I mean, this little bag here, that's, I don't know, maybe it's 1 foot by 6 inches. So this little brick here just expanded into this giant tub of, this half a tub right here of CocoBlox. So I like that. That's a huge selling point for me. And it's just, I can get a whole bunch of this stuff and I can stack it, and when I need to use it, I'm ready to use. I like that it is this spongy type of material, because I really feel like this is going to hydrate well when I rehydrate it again later on down the line. So I like that. I like that it's these larger chunks that the baby boas and baby snakes are not going to really eat or have trouble ingesting. So that's a big selling point for me too, is I've used Substrate in the past, and this stuff's not going to stick to the mouse. When I feed the frozen thawed, usually it's wet, and then the mouse gets eaten, and then sometimes, you know, I've actually recently just had an issue with the baby eating some aspen bedding, and kind of, you know, regurgitated its meal, and that was all the aspen bedding stuck to the thing. So that's shied me away, and it's really gotten me to look into different substrates. I like that it'll hold humidity well. Even right now, sitting next to this bin, it's getting more humid in here. And that's what I was looking to do. If you guys have watched some of my other videos, I told you I spray down my floors, and I'm trying to keep the humidity in the cages as opposed to in my room. I think this is going to do a little bit of both, keep the humidity in the cage, but also boost the whole humidity of everything. So some of these, I do have the option of, maybe I can still use aspen on some of these other cages, which I plan to do because I have about 30 bundles of the stuff in my shed. So I can't just immediately switch over. Want to use that stuff before I fully switch to this. But I do think overall, this stuff is going to save some time in me spraying the floors down. And especially with some animals with some stuck shed. That's what I tried it on first, or not stuck shed, that are going into shed, is a lot of the times with the aspen, I'm still having trouble with the stuff kind of soaking the moisture up out of the air. And some of the babies will have humidity problems, or will have shed problems because the humidity in the room is good, but in their enclosures is low. So there are a lot of things I like about aspen, but there's a lot of things I don't like. I think with this substrate, it's going to fix my humidity issue. It's going to be large enough chunks so I don't have to worry about babies. It's easy to store. It's fairly cheap, especially if you're buying a bunch of bricks at a time. I think, you know, if you buy 2 or 3 bricks, it's about the same price as aspen. It's a little bit more expensive than aspen, but once it's all expanded, you know, you get a little bit more aspen per the cocoa, but I think it goes a lot longer. So again, the aspen, I'm changing that stuff out every 2 weeks or so. I feel confident that I'm going to be able to get a month to 2 months, maybe even longer out of this stuff by the time it gets to the point where I need to do a full change. So I'm real excited about that. And I'm also thinking I might even be able to use this outside in like my garden and in the mulch and stuff like that. Some things that I initially didn't like about it is when I put it in a cage, it's brown. It's the same color as poop. So a snake went to the bathroom, and I'm saying, man, am I going to have a hard time finding it as I go? I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, I do a pretty good inspection of the cages anyways, but the nice thing about the blonde-colored aspen that I pulled out is I could immediately see it. All right, this cage is dirty. But that's not a big deal to me. I just wanted to mention it, that's kind of something that I noticed as I'm like, all right, this is something I need to pay a little bit more attention to as I'm pulling open these drawers, trying to clean things. I need to make sure I inspect the whole cage thoroughly. Another thing that I noticed that I kind of like, but I don't, is that when they're over their heat, it's because it has the larger chunks, they are further away from the heat pad. So I'm thinking I may need to crank my heat pad up a little bit, or I'll just put less substrate there. So not necessarily a con or an advantage, I just need to look into it and see how I need to adjust my settings for this stuff overall. Otherwise, I really like it. I mean, it's clean. It smells nice. I think that's going to be a good selling point for me. I mean, the smell is like like I'm on a beach, to be honest. I kind of like it. So I like the smell. I like the cleanliness of it. I like the storage capacity. I like that it's going to stay hydrated and hold the humidity. And actually, in the transition, when I switch the camera around, I sprayed a little bit into a cage, and that I put it in yesterday, and those blocks did expand again. They soaked up all the moisture. So that was another concern of mine is when the snake goes to the bathroom, is it going to absorb this, or is it going to sit underneath it and be like it's sitting in a puddle? That's the problem I was having with the cypress mulch at times. One, cypress mulch was very dusty for me, but it seemed like when they went to the bathroom, it was just like stuck to the dust at the bottom. And that was annoying, especially when I went to do a cage clean, is I had all this like stuck dust everywhere. So with all that said, I'm really impressed with this. I have to be honest, I sent Jesse a text this morning and I said, I've never been so excited about a bedding before, and I am going to be buying more. I just want to burn through what I have right now before, so I can make space before I take on a whole pallet of this stuff. So I will definitely be reselling this. I need to figure out some cheaper ways to ship it, but if you're in the New England or Massachusetts area, I'm happy to sell it to you. I'm trying to get some good prices on it, so by the time we get it done, it's going to be somewhere in like the $15 to $20 a block range, which I think is really reasonable. You know, but again, you're going to have to buy 10 blocks, 15 blocks or so to get that price, but I'm still excited to do it for you. I want to use it myself, and the more that I can sell, the cheaper that I can get it, the cheaper I can sell to you guys, the more I can buy, all this stuff. So I'm trying to pass this stuff on to you. With all that said, in recap, actually one more thing I want to talk about the shaker table is Jesse was telling me, hey, we have the shaker table. My initial thought is, all right, I don't want to have to buy anything else to use the bedding. And that was one of the big features of send me something first, is before I commit to a pallet, do I need this shaker table to use this bedding? No, I don't. I don't have the shaker table here, but I will be doing a review as soon as I get that in. That's probably going to be about another 5 weeks or so. So by the time you see this video, another 3 weeks, and then maybe another month. So about 6 weeks or so from the date that you're seeing this video, or I'm sorry, about a month after you see this video, I'll have a shaker table review for you guys. Maybe sooner if I can get it sooner. But my thoughts on that were, I don't want to have to buy something. It's not a cheap product. It's not something I can just fold up into this little box. It's kind of it's like a little workstation. But what I did like about it is that it is a workstation, and I don't have one of those. I'm pulling, you know, bins out of my top racks, and I'm putting things on top of my trash barrel, and I thought, well, at the very least, I'll use that as a workstation. I like, without even talking about it for the use as the shaker table, the purpose of a shaker table is that it's supposed to, when you put it in and you mix it all around, these kind of stringy pieces of the bedding, it's supposed to have all those fall out, and any dust that is in there, which I haven't noticed, is going to fall out into the bottom. It's got a little tray. My thought is, even if I don't use it as a shaker table, it'll be nice because I can have my bins on top. I can use it to put the snake in. And the tray that everything falls under is one of their Freedom Breeder FB90 bins, which is like 2 foot by 3 foot. That's perfect. So as I'm cleaning the cages, I can take the snake out, put it in this bin, close the drawer, clean the cage, then take the snake back out. It's not intended to be used that way, but I'm going to tell you that's how I'm going to use it. And it's kind of nice where all the loose substrate falls below. I kind of have a bedding in there that I can just break it up and dump it. Another thing that I was thinking about using it for is, you guys saw I have a hose. A lot of times when I clean cages is I'll bring my hose with me and I'll use it. I have kind of a bin of water that I wash the water bowls in. It would be nice that I can use this. The shaker table has a grate on it. Is I can use it to fill my water bowls up, and then any free water just kind of drips down into below, so I don't have my water bowl sitting in a tub of water that I've used to wash 30 other water bowls. So I'm kind of excited about that. I want to see how many different uses I can have beyond a mobile workstation and beyond the shaker table. I'm very impressed with everything Freedom Breeder has made in the past, so I continue to be impressed with this stuff. I almost have to apologize to Jesse, because he was saying, like, don't worry about it, you're going to love it. And I'm like, I don't want to take your word for anything. Let me try it first. I know I like your racks. Send me your racks. Send me a small order of this stuff, and I'll tell you if I like it. And if I like it, I'll order more. I did have to pay more for it because I bought less. I'm getting no deals on this stuff right now because the shipping is so much for me. So whatever you guys would pay on the Freedom Breeder site is what I'm paying. But what I am going to try to do is order more so I can give it to you guys for a good price. And that was kind of, again, bad on my part. I should have trusted him. If I bought as much as he said I should have bought, I would have got it for a lot cheaper. But at the same time, very happy with it. And I hope you guys appreciate this video. So any comments, please drop them in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer your questions because by the time you see this, again, I will already have used this for a few weeks. I'm going to throw some pictures in the course of this video that you've probably seen by now so you can see it set up in my cages. And yeah, let's keep it moving, guys. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Go check out Freedom Breeder's channel, like and subscribe them, and check out their website, www.freedombreeder.com, and also check out mine, www.jasonsexoticreptiles.com. Everything's in the description above. Appreciate you guys watching, following, subscribing, and let's keep it moving until next week. Thanks, guys.